future of our great country is in the hands of these young souls. And it is these young souls that Step Up Nigeria has taken as its own niche to promote integrity.
Hello and welcome to Transparency Files, ICPC's weekly television program. I am your host, Murna Barnabas Atiai. Corruption remains a significant challenge that cuts across every sector of society, from government institutions to private enterprises. While the government leads enforcement and regulation, businesses and corporate entities must also uphold transparency and ethical business practices. As the backbone of the economy, the private sector has the power to foster a culture of integrity and accountability. To combat corruption, ICPC has developed corporate integrity frameworks and compliance guidelines, ensuring that businesses engage in transparent and ethical dealings, particularly when handling public funds. These efforts have led to the prosecution of corporate offenders, asset recovery, and policy reforms aimed at eliminating fraudulent activities. In today's episode, we explore the crucial role of the private sector in promoting integrity, ensuring transparency, and fostering a strong culture of accountability. We will examine how corporate entities can contribute to eradicating corruption by implementing fair business practices that support a corruption-free society. Our guests for today is Glory Ukwenga, Executive Director of Africana League Development, and Mr. Waziri Adio, founder of Agora Policy, an organization dedicated to practical solutions for national challenges. Meantime, we'll also be checking in with Joy Aja for anti-corruption stories and other exciting segments. Stay with us.
Hello viewers, thank you for joining us. My name is Joy Aja with Anti-Corruption Stories. The chairman of ICPC, Dr. Musa Adamu Aliyu SAN, has reaffirmed the pivotal role of Nigerian youths in the ongoing fight against corruption, describing them as high-value assets in the national anti-corruption movement. Dr. Aliyu made this known at the official launch of anti-corruption education tools and mobile app in Nigeria, organized by Step Up Nigeria, a civil society organization committed to promoting integrity and good governance. Represented by the Commission's spokesperson, Mr. Demola Bakare FSI, the ICPC chairman emphasized that the real victory in the fight against corruption lies not in statistics, but in the successful transfer of knowledge to the younger generation.
For the kind of work that we do at ICPC, we couldn't have had a better partner. The future of our great country is in the hands of these young souls. And it is these young souls that Step Up Nigeria has taken as its own niche to promote integrity. So if we capture them, if we really instill the value that makes for a better nation in them, we can be sure that some of us, even when we are no more here, will be smiling in our graves.
Also speaking at the launch, the executive director and founder of Step Up Nigeria, Mrs. Onyinye Og, who described the new tools as a transformative development for integrity education in Nigeria, highlighted the organization's mission to integrate innovative technology like artificial intelligence (AI) in classrooms, promote social accountability through mechanisms such as naming and shaming, and build a nationwide and global network of anti-corruption champions. As part of the panel discussion on sustaining anti-corruption education through innovative technology, Mrs. Azuka Ogugwa, head of Servicom ICPC, reiterated the Commission's dedication to working with young people through education and information sharing initiatives. The event also featured an exhibition of interactive anti-corruption education tools, including storybooks, board games, animated films, and virtual reality contents. In another development, ICPC has rearranged Professor Godwin Ojo-Igbinoba before Honorable Justice A. Erabo of Criminal Court 1, Benin City, High Court of Edo State, on a 3-count charge related to degree peddling and forgery. The first count accuses Professor Igbinoba of unlawfully awarding academic degrees to members of the public through the Association of Professional Examination Board and the Association of Corporation of Chartered Secretaries, Benin City. He was alleged to have issued Bachelor of Science degrees and national diplomas without the necessary approvals from the Federal Ministry of Education, the National Board for Technical Education, or the National Universities Commission. The second charge pertains to forgery in violation of Section 465 of the Criminal Code Act and punishable under Section 467 of the same Act. The third count alleges that the defendant obtained money under false pretenses, contrary to and punishable under Section 419 of the Criminal Code Act. He purportedly misled unsuspecting Nigerians into believing that the Association of Professional Examination Board and the Association of Corporation of Chartered Secretaries offered accredited educational programs leading to recognized qualifications. As a result, students reportedly paid tuition fees into various bank accounts linked to the institution. When the matter was revisited recently, the defendant appeared in court in person, represented by legal counsel P.E. Chukwu, while D.N. Okoro from the ICPC Legal Unit Edo State Office prosecuted the matter. The court was informed that the defendant had previously been arraigned before Honorable Justice Efe Ekpomoba. However, following a reassignment of the case to Honorable Justice Erabo, the proceedings had to commence afresh. Professor Igbinoba retook his plea and pleaded not guilty to all the charges. The defense counsel requested that the bail conditions previously granted to the defendant remain in effect, a motion which the court granted. The case was adjourned to May 19 for hearing. That will be all on this segment. Transparency Files continues with Muruna. Please stay with us.
Corruption not in my country.
Madam, no. These drugs are very scarce, so we don't have them here. Go to the next building. There's a paying pharmacy there. You buy it from there.
The drugs I have on my list of prescription is what I am seeing here.
Do you know the packets are empty or they are expired? I mean, go and buy drugs from the next pharmacy. You're here telling me my own job. Rubbish.
Tell me another lie, because I was here yesterday when this new set of drugs were delivered here.
Don't see the drugs, though. I didn't know I was on leave yesterday. Why you not tell me say that good for nothing, prognosing doctor? Now he said you come here.
Hey, I heard that. Do you know how many lives you will save by giving out those drugs? Or do you know how many lives you are killing by hoarding those same drugs? You are the same set of people saying that government is corrupt. Government is corrupt. Now you are at your duty post. Are you not corrupt? You are sacked. Yes, because that is corruption. Not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Corruption not in my country.
If you're just tuning in, this is Transparency Files. The private sector, including multinational corporations, small and medium enterprises, financial institutions, and other business entities, plays a vital role in shaping economic policies and driving national development. However, unethical practices such as bribery, embezzlement, procurement fraud, tax evasion, and money laundering continue to undermine economic progress. Our team spoke with the Executive Director of Africana League Development, Glory Ukwenga, on the state of corruption in the private sector and possible solutions. Let's hear from her.
I think we can look at private sector corruption in different angles. There are the aspects where within the organization, people in the private sector commit acts of corruption against clients. We also have cases where the staff in the private sector also commit acts of corruption against the institution itself that they represent and they serve and that they are employed to support. Then we also have institutional corruption, where the private sector organizations are themselves the actors in corruption. Here they commit acts of corruption against the clients that they serve, and then where they also connive amongst themselves to commit acts of corruption against other institutions. So, such as government agencies. Commonly, I would say that the ones that are within intra-organizational driven corruptions and that impact directly on the organization itself are the ones that are easily more identifiable, and that organizations, because they immediately impact on the reputation and the profits of the organization, there is higher chances that the organizations are taking steps to mitigate on those things. But the ones that are driven particularly by top level who represent the organization to act against the interest of clients who are institutions like themselves, and then to act against government agencies and other competing organizations. Yeah, that's where usually we find a lot of corruption, we find a lot of underreporting, and we find a lot of association, to cover up these acts. It's a problem, and that private sector corruption has been on the increase, even though it's still lesser than public sector corruption. So therefore, as we pay attention and drive conversations about the issues of corruption in the public sector, it's very important for us as people and as organizations, to take interest in understanding and identifying push and pull factors and consequences and impacts of corruption, especially in the private sector. So yeah, it's good that we're starting this conversation, from this space, and it's also good that certain things are already being done among private sector institutions.
Thank you for staying with us. Beyond corporate responsibility, let's examine the role of individual professionals, employees, and consumers in demanding transparency and accountability from businesses. Employees must be empowered to report corrupt practices within their organizations, and consumers must support businesses that uphold ethical standards. The fight against corruption is not solely the government's responsibility. It requires collective action from everyone. Joining us now is Mr. Waziri Adiu, founder of Agora Policy, an organization dedicated to practical solutions for national challenges. He will share insights on how the private sector can promote a corruption-free business environment.
Everybody has their role, right? Some will come from the position of research, like we're a research institution primarily. Some will come from the position of advocacy, right? There are certain things that government cannot do that civil society can do, right? So the point I'm trying to make is better when we're working together, and not about those are the good guys, those are the bad guys, or that's that side and this is this side. We all have a stake in a society that works better, and it's to make sure that we understand ourselves. Sometimes we work at cross purposes. Interestingly, I used to work for Native, right? And Native rests on a tripod. You have government, you have private sector, and you have civil society. And so we need that collaboration. We need the three sectors of society coming together to work together. People will need to play different parts, but even just sitting at the table, listening to yourselves, understanding where each person is coming from, understanding the roles that each person, where you have a comparative advantage, right? There are certain things that it shouldn't be ICPC or FCC that should be doing. It should be civil society, right? And there are certain things that you also need the private sector, on board. So is to be able to say, okay, how can we contribute? And how do we make sure that we're not a house divided, it's one house, and we're all working towards a single purpose. But it will also be on a case-by-case basis to decide, so where do you come in? Some instances is about providing the evidence. It could be what the civil society people or the research institutions have come up with, and so we can take that up. Or it could be what you have identified as your need that they can take up.
This is Transparency Files. This segment examines the arraignment of the former sole administrator of Sakaba local government area in Kebbi State, Abubakar Bawa Makuku, and his director of finance and supply, Ahmed Abdullahi Fakai. ICPC charged them over an alleged 54 million naira contract fraud. Reports indicate that they unlawfully withdrew 54 million naira in 6 tranches of 9 million naira each, allegedly to bypass financial reporting protocols. What are the implications of this case for our nation? ICPC Legal Counsel Enosa Omogibo provides expert analysis.
Yes, that's a case where the local government chairman and his director of finance and supplies were pulling monies from the local government account. They tried to do it smartly such that they would escape the reporting thresholds. This local government, what they did was actually to circumvent the provisions of the law. Now, you know that in any human organization where laws are thrown away, you are inviting anarchy and chaos. And the doing of government business is even more so that there should be laws that govern such conduct of government business. In order to check corruption and laundering of process of crime, Section 2, subsection 1B of the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act of 2022 stipulates that there should not be withdrawal of monies by corporate organizations like a local government beyond 10 million in cash. Now, if they do so, if they do such withdrawal, Section 11, subsection 1B provides that the financial institution must report to NFIU, Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit. Now that report is to be escalated to anti-corruption agencies so they can ask questions as to what the money is meant for and what they want to do, whether it's tied to a particular project or not. But by withdrawing these monies in tranches of 9 million, short of 10 million, they wanted to circumvent that reporting threshold. So that in itself is corruption. So when it was discovered, investigated, of course, they would be prosecuted for that. Now, as to the implication of that in our society, assuming for purposes of analysis, that local government gets 100 million as statutory allocation every month. And in that 100 million, they will cover the wage bill of the local government workers. They will provide some kind of security at the local level. They will support agriculture and other developmental programs. Now, imagine one person or few individuals take away about half or more than half of that money. You'll find local government that will not be able to pay their workers' salaries. You'll find local government that will not be able to support agriculture at that level. There will be villages that will be cut off from the other parts of the local government. Economic activities will be hampered because there are no roads, the existing ones are not maintained, and farmers will not be able to take their produce to the market. So that is the ripple effect of that kind of corruption on the local government as a whole, especially considering the fact that local government exists to take governance closer to the people and the gains of governance. Now, replicate that in the 774 local governments in Nigeria. So when you look at that and look at the effects of that in that local government and in other local governments, you find that corruption, if not checked, can actually grind the machinery of states to a halt.
The fight against corruption is a collective effort. The private sector must take responsibility for fostering a transparent and accountable business environment. Every organization has a role to play in ensuring that integrity becomes the foundation of business practices in Nigeria.
I am a Nigerian, a highly cultured race. My culture abhors corruption, and with my integrity, a new Nigeria is possible. I say no to corruption today to build a future for my children. Join me and imbibe the culture of integrity to build a Nigeria of our dreams.
Before we wrap up, here is an update on activities from our state offices.
A report from Sokoto State reveals that the ICPC Resident Anti-Corruption Commissioner, Mr. Shintema Binga, led a team on a courtesy visit to the Chief Judge of Sokoto State, Honorable Justice Muhammad Saidu Sifawa, to call for stronger collaboration between the Commission and the State High Court in the fight against corruption. He emphasized that such partnership would enhance the effectiveness of anti-corruption efforts in the states. In his response, Honorable Justice Sifawa assured the Commissioner of the judiciary's readiness to support the Commission within the limits of the court's jurisdiction. Similarly, the Resident Anti-Corruption Commissioner of Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Shuaibu Baba Alaro, led a delegation on a courtesy visit to the EFCC Akwa Ibom State Office to enhance collaboration in the fight against corruption. Mr. Alaro emphasized the importance of building strong partnerships with relevant stakeholders to enhance the Commission's preventive mandate. The delegation was received by the Zonal Director, Mr. Oshodi Johnson, who expressed readiness to support and collaborate with the Commission to strengthen anti-corruption efforts and build a transparent society. Coming from Osun State, Mrs. Okebukola Oluwafeyi-Kemi of the Public Enlightenment and Education Department has sensitized members of the NYSC ICPC Anti-Corruption CDS group on the detrimental effects of corruption on society at the Anti-Corruption CDS program in Osogbo. She emphasized the critical role of youths in the anti-corruption fight and proposed actionable solutions to promote a corruption-free Nigeria. Similarly, from our Lagos State office, Mrs. Mary Omonoyan has sensitized the officers of Nigerian Customs Service on transparency and accountability in public service at the Tin Can Island ports, Apapa.
And that's our package for today's edition of Transparency Files. Don't forget to tune in every Friday at 6:30 p.m. on NTA Network and NTA International. With continuous effort and vigilance, we can combat corruption in Nigeria. Until next time, stay informed and engaged. My name is Murna Barnabas Atiayi.